crinkly up tree over there.
Mike, you're good?
Yep.
Okay,
And I'm
here
ready.
we go. Let's go for a walk. Okay, walk is fine.
So when I first initially Corey was talking to me. We went to high school together, and I didn't know his grandma had this farm. I was getting into farming, and she said that yes, that you weren't the only black farmer. You're not the first one to be here, and I didn't know what she was talking about. And then to come find out, it was like the runaway slave path, or like it was a bunch. I guess there's a ton of history on this property that I had no clue about, and going way back. And yeah, I was actually kind of intrigued. I remember telling everybody. But yeah, I was very shocked every time I come to this farm to think, wow, black people used to farm over here. Interesting, because you don't see any anymore. So yeah, just me. Yeah, so it's just interesting that I'm farming. It's just kind of funny how I'm on this ground, and it used to be farmed by black people, and I never heard that. I never knew that, and she told me that. So, but yeah, pretty cool. That's interesting history. I love history, and knowing that they came up there from the States and they got up here and tried to make a go at it, and it's interesting how hard it must have been. This field is, I would say, one of my big fields in the area. The farms are only around 30 to 40 acres, the ones I rent, but this is a pretty big farm. It would have been hard to farm all this back in 1800s, right? So late 1800s would have been hard. You would have been like an ox with a plow. So, and you probably would have had all these farms divided up into smaller fields, because you wouldn't have a farm, just one big field like this to make, with wheat on it. You would have had a 10-acre hay field. You would have had a 5-acre pasture field. You would have had a 5-acre corn field. I don't even know if they grew corn back then. Probably not, right? But yeah, that's interesting to know that they were out here, trying to give it a go, and it would have been extremely hard back then. Not knowing what we know now about the ground and how how the farming works with plant health and management, soil management, and back then, yeah, that would have been insane.
What do you think their yields were like?
Well, probably not good. So, but for probably back then, I think you just try to settle the ground and you'd live off what you had, right? So they probably they probably did all right on that. But yeah, it would have been just painstakingly. It would have killed your hands. It would have killed your. You're just every day you'd be out here busting your ass trying to make a go at it, right? Nowadays we have the comfort of a cab, all right? We have the comfort of 4-wheel drive, not getting stuck. We have the comfort of now auto steer, which now you just sit on your phone and just let the machine drive itself. You don't have to even steer it, right? And a farm like this takes a day. Right? It takes one day to turbo till it up, and then that same day, if you have a guy turbo tilling, you can plant it that same day. Back then, it would have been insane. Going 10 years ago, this would have been 2 days or 3 days for me to do with a 15-foot box drill. Going back to the 1800s, this would have been insane. I don't know how they would have.
Like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you'd have a hoe and you'd be digging a trench, and someone would be planting and you'd be covering it up, right? Looks like they got a lot of water sources here, so they could irrigate a little bit. But yeah, it would have been hard. And on top of that, I think they would have to kept clearing more and more land as they wanted more. If they had animals on here, as they wanted more, they would have to keep clearing more. And back then, I'm assuming you'd cut the tree down and then have the root pulled out or burned. But it's not like today where you just get an excavator and clamp it and rip it out of the ground, right? So, but yeah, it's interesting to see that they were doing it up here, and I didn't even know, right? Marianne, when Marianne told me, I was just like, I didn't believe that. I'm like, that's bullshit.